Today's show is brought to you by Vinyl Me Please. Join the Record of the Month Club at joinvmp.com/songspodcast. Hey everyone, before we get into the episode, I do want to give you a friendly reminder that each and every episode comes with a unique playlist via Spotify or Apple Music. You can go to songspodcast.com or scroll down to the description of this episode and click on a link to the playlist, Apple Music, Spotify. They are there for you to experience the songs that we talk about on each and every episode. Thank you so much, and let's get right to it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Songs for the Moment, and this week is going to be interesting. I'm just, before we get out of the way, I'm going to say that we do not have the same songs on our list this week. I'm just going to make that bet right now. I'm confident there might be one, but this song, or this week's episode, is about, as Shawn put it in the text yesterday, I like it, songs of sorrow, sad songs of sadness, or anything in between. I'm Glenn Rodriguez. You know me. With me, as always, is my producer, my right-hand man, my buddy, Shawn Hebert. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I think I have a very good list, solid heavy hitters for songs of sorrow. But I'm interested to see if we have any of the same songs, because I think I picked some iconic ones, which is why I think we might have some duplicates.
Exactly. It might be that way. We'll see. I'm willing to bet not, but if you do, you said you were going to hysterically laugh, and I'm looking forward to it for sure, because I'm trying to make this lighthearted because it's going to get really deep soon. So before we get started here, I do want to say thank you to everyone out there who keeps listening. I've noticed that our listenership's been going up a lot lately, and it's great to have some new faces here listening. If you like what you hear, let us know what you guys think on social media at Songs Podcast everywhere, on every platform you can find us on. Let us know what themes you want us to hear or talk about next. If you want to, write for the website, songspodcast.com, let us know. We are going to turn this into something bigger in 2019, and we're really excited about that. So without further ado, let's get into this. I guess, like you said, you wanted me to start first. So
yeah, I think you should start.
So I discovered this song the other day, 2 days ago, on a Spotify has that thing where after a playlist is done, it'll play related songs, and this song came on, and it hit me really hard. Obviously I listened to a lot of this kind of music this year because of my breakup in January, so it wasn't too hard to kind of like find songs. It was just the ones that which one should I pick, and I substitute one that I was going to put on this for this song because it's a really good, lyrically, it's a really good song. It tells a really like deep story about a breakup. It's called The Greatest Bastard by Damien Rice, and the main question it asks to the person he is talking about or talking to is like, am I the greatest bastard you ever known? And I didn't mean to let you down. And that hit me to the bone, man. And just everything that's been going on this year and everything that happened in January, just it like kind of song kind of just wraps it up, into a bow, and like, kind of just makes everything like, I don't know, it describes everything perfectly. And Damien Rice is awesome. He's got a song called I think it's called 9 Crimes, 6 Crimes, something like that. Let me find it. 9 Crimes. And it's like one of the saddest songs I've ever heard. It's about I guess a relationship gone wrong, because I think they both cheated on each other, and it's just them talking to each other. It's a duet with the girl. I don't know what the girl's name was, but the music video is pretty cool. But Damien Rice is a great singer-songwriter, and I definitely am going to get into him a lot more after hearing The Greatest Bastard, because it's super good. And yeah, it definitely made me tear up too as well. Obviously, if music can do that, it's awesome. And yeah, that's really all I really got to say about it. You just gotta let the words and the music do the talking for me, because I can only describe it so much, but you got to hear it, and you will when you hear this episode, and then you can go and listen to the full song in the playlist for sure.
Yeah, so I've never heard it. I'll definitely check it out, obviously, because I'm going to edit this episode right after this, so I will hear all these songs. But yeah, what am I going to do for my first one? All right. Yeah, all right, I'll do this. I'll break out my biggest heavy hitter. In my opinion, the saddest song on the planet is Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven.
I guessed it in my head, wasn't going to say it until you said it.
Okay. You knew. All right. Wow. Yeah, because I didn't tell him at all.
Yeah.
Tears in Heaven to me is the saddest song on the planet, especially if you know the story behind it. The story behind it specifically is Eric Clapton had a son, and he kind of categorized himself even as like he wasn't really in his son's life a whole lot, and his son wound up falling 50 stories to his death out of a New York City apartment window. What happened was he was staying at his mother's house, and a guy that was doing work on the house had opened up this large floor-to-ceiling window to get some air in there, and him and his mom were playing hide and seek, and the kid ran away and ran into that room and ran right out the window of a 53rd story building.
Christ. I didn't know that part. I didn't know he ran. I thought he just kind of like, I didn't hear the full story. I just knew he fell out of the window, and I always just imagined like maybe he was just sitting on the windowsill, maybe lost his board, like trying to grab something. That's depressing.
Yeah. And the even crazier than, I mean, not even crazier, but a crazier part to the story to me is that the day before, or a couple of days before, Eric Clapton was actually talking to his wife about how he wanted to be more present in his son's life. And then that happened.
Yes.
So the first line in the song is, if you saw me in heaven, would you even know my name? That's what that means. Because he felt like he wasn't in his son's life anymore. And his son was 4.5 years old when he died.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's why I think this is definitely the saddest song ever made.
It definitely is.
Yeah, Eric Clapton's incredible, obviously. So many hits. But this song in particular, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard, but maybe not everybody knows the story around it.
See, I only knew half the story. Now knowing the full story makes it definitely the saddest song ever made.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely, for sure.
And I cross-checked some things, on the story, and multiple websites that I came across had the same exact story. So, yeah.
Doing that research, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next song I'm just gonna go.
This is gonna be an episode. All right. So let's try not to completely bum people out so they don't listen.
Yeah. Like, well, let's see.
I think that's as heavy as I'm gonna get.
Yeah, it's definitely. A lot of these songs just kind of remind me of one thing, and just people can relate to it. Everyone's broken up with someone, especially someone they've been with for a very long time. So a lot of these songs represent that for me, because it's all I was listening to for most of the year. Because I didn't like find anything that was like really like, I guess, something that had that kind of story to it. I went to, I guess, just the personal route with this, because I knew eventually if we were going to do this, I was going to definitely use these songs. So the next song is With or Without You by U2.
Good song, man.
Yeah, dude. I love this song so much. And then, you know, obviously the Friends reference, because that's the show that, you know, her and I used to watch together a lot. She really got me into it as well. Like, we had this conversation before that both of our, you know, my ex-significant other and your wife got you, like, they've got us
my
into
wife
the
got
show.
me hooked on Friends, bro.
Yeah, man. Same here. So, like, you know, the whole Rachel and Ross story and everything, and like, I just always felt like was funny because the whole, like, when he requested this song and then, you know, they're cutting back and forth to them, like, kind of listening to it in two different places, and then she calls into the radio station and Monica thought she was gonna call Ross, but then she calls into the radio station to tell him what happened. It's just so funny to me. It's just so funny. But like, I played this on the radio when I was doing the Radio 104.5 thing, and I was going to, like, because one last hope, like, sent a text to a friend, was like, hey, you know, can you tell her that I'm doing this thing, because she would have gotten a kick out of it for sure. And I was going to be really fucking corny and do the with or without you. I was going to dedicate it to her. I was going to say, dedicate it to my lobster, blah blah blah, because I'm corny like that, as we talked about plenty of times. And I decided to go the other way with it. I said, our next song is Ross and Rachel's favorite song, and went right into the song without even fucking going the route that I did, because I knew deep down that it wasn't going to happen the way I wanted it to. So I totally chickened out and saved myself from embarrassment. So, but I love U2, and this song is awesome. And you know, Joshua Tree is one of those albums that everyone talks about, you know, kind of an essential to them as a band in their history, and it's definitely one of their biggest, if not their biggest album. And it's got so many great hits, and this song is definitely, you know, a sad song, and it's good, and it's been covered by a lot of people that I like to listen to, especially Denmark and Winter. They did a really good version of this. But it's good, and U2 is one of my favorite bands, and that's really all I can say about it. I just wanted to tell that weird story.
Me and my wife
told.
were actually thinking about getting matching lobster claw tattoos.
God damn it. It's so awesome.
It is
jealous.
fucking awesome.
I'm glad someone's doing that. Like, that's yeah.
But
good on you.
But yeah, my next song is an artist that not a lot of people might know. A lot of people might know. I'm not really sure anymore, because nobody really talks about him as far as I know. Elliott Smith. The song "Everything Reminds Me of Her." I could have picked almost any song by him.
It's true.
But I picked "Everything Reminds Me of Her" because I think that's the first song I ever heard by him back in the Kazaa days.
Kazaa.
Or MySpace, maybe. But yeah, I heard that song, and it's super, super sad. And Elliott Smith's story is, you know, even more sad. He unfortunately passed away. But the situation surrounding his death was like, I was reading up on it because I had a certain impression of what happened versus what actually happened. So my initial impression of what happened was that he was struggling with drug addiction and wound up killing himself by stabbing himself in the chest.
Jeez.
Apparently, he was having an argument with his girlfriend, and she locked herself in the bathroom to take a shower, and when she came out, he had stabbed himself in the chest twice. But then, you know, then he was rushed to the hospital. He died shortly thereafter at the hospital. But it says the coroner reported that no traces of illegal substances or alcohol were found in Smith's system at the time of his death, but they did not find and they only found prescribed levels of antidepressants and stuff like that, stuff he was prescribed. There was no hesitation wounds, though, which are typical of like suicide by self-infliction. Like if you're stabbing yourself, there's usually hesitation wounds. but apparently, there weren't any, so that was a little suspicious. But apparently they didn't even try to investigate it further, which is really sad. Because Elliott Smith was extremely talented. A lot of people say that what's the name of the album? Either Or is probably, or no. Either Or is definitely my favorite record by him. A lot of people say XO. You can't really go wrong either way. Honestly, I personally like Either Or better though. This song is on Figure 8, however. The song Everything Reminds Me of Her. Still a good album. Yeah, not really much else to say. Elliott Smith, Everything Reminds Me of Her. Super sad.
I can't wait to hear that one. I need a little bit more like education on him. I didn't know that story, and that's definitely that's sad. Damn.
yeah, it was super sad.
All right. See, I did those two. Okay, I'm gonna go with a curveball here. I'm gonna go with 2 Beers In, Free Throw. The band's called Free Throw. The song's called 2 Beers In. It's basically a guy talking to his ex and yelling at her, like, does he know that you're this and that and blah blah blah. And I heard this in a mix the other day on Spotify, and I like this band. The band's really good. I think they just recently played Underground Arts here in Philly. They're like an emo band. Like, I guess you can consider them the same kind of like what's the one band that I listen to? What are they called? They sing No Halo. Let me look at it here. I have it right here. It's like the number 1 on my top 100 for the year. Sorority Noise. They sound like them. Bands like that. So,
what's this band's name?
Free Throw.
Free Throw.
Yeah,
I'll
like the album.
definitely have to check them out.
I think you will like them. The album cover is great. The album cover is like they kind of fall into that same like trend of like just using how like atmosphere and like homes as their album cover. Like random ambient type things with like kind of cursive writing as like their titles. I love that style of like the style of album art that people are using these days. I think
like the rip really, like I'm not really their biggest fan or anything, but the style of Brand New's album art,
say like something like that,
basically
or like
a direct rip off of that one album cover.
kinda yeah. Or like American football. By the way, check out the new American football song.
Oh my
so
god,
fucking good.
It's so good. They're back, dude.
Yeah, man. LP3 next year. Definitely when they tour, I'm definitely going to check them out. If I'm still in the area, we definitely got to go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Free Throw. It's a really good band. I've come to like them. If you like bands like let's see, I'm Glad It's You, Dry Jacket. I'm just naming off bands like discover more artists, bands that you would like.
Dry Jacket's really good.
Microwave, Tiny Moving Parts. You know them. We talked about them on the show before. Mom Jeans.
I haven't listened to Mom Jeans yet.
They're going on tour. I'm part of that emo subreddit, and I like talk about them all the time. Like for the whole week though, this whole week there was just like American football stuff. That's all they talked about. It was obviously well needed to talk about that. But yeah, Free Throw. 2 Beers In. It's definitely emo as fuck, and it's great. Yeah, that's all I really got to say about that one. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. Not as sad as most of the songs we're talking about, but it's in the realm of a breakup song, and I'm going with that.
All right, and we will be right back after a word from our sponsors.
So, Shawn, the other day I was scrolling through Twitter, and I was just looking for any kind of help to help us with our podcast, and I came across Gary Vee, who's one of my favorite influencers on social media, and he was talking about an app called anchor.fm, and you can download that app onto your phone and create your own podcast from wherever you are. And they take care of distribution, and they make it easy for you to upload your audio if you already have your own show recorded, edited, and all that good stuff.
Really?
And I looked it up and I tried it, and it's been such a lifesaver.
Yeah. You've been telling me you haven't had to stay up until midnight to actually have everything come out at the exact right time, and go to all these different places to upload your stuff and get a specific feed going. So you just give Anchor your information once, and they take care of everything else.
Exactly. It's been so easy. It's so easy to use, and it's been such a blast using their app, and their customer service rocks. Anytime I've had problems, which were always just on my end, and just I was very impatient because I was really excited to use their service, and it's just been great. So they got us on Spotify, which is a big thing for us. That was one of the things that we really wanted to do here at Songs for the Moment, and they took our show and distributed it to everyone.
Yeah, and Spotify is, we wanted to get our show on there because, we make Spotify playlists every week, so it only made sense that we're hosted on there. It was kind of hard for us to do it ourselves. As soon as we told Anchor, they were like, yeah, no problem.
Exactly.
So let me read this little copy here. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, so you can get paid to podcast. If you always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's anchor.fm/start to join me, Glenn, and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start.
So, Shawn, I heard this new music podcast the other day. It is from best-selling author Malcolm Gladwell and legendary producer Rick Rubin, who we both know is one of the greatest producers of all time. This podcast is actually called Broken Record, and it's a podcast collaboration from the team behind Revisionist History. It's really awesome. I think you should definitely listen to it.
Oh yeah, I already have, man. The first season of it is out now, and in this season, Rick Rubin talks with Malcolm Gladwell about his long career as a musical pathbreaker for everyone from Run DMC to Johnny Cash. These are really, really cool stories that you're going to get from people that have been around in the industry for a really long time. I'm a really big fan of Rick Rubin. He's a huge name in production.
He's one of the biggest, and it was a great episode because I love the Johnny Cash American recordings years, and that's the stuff that he did with Rick Rubin, which is great. Also, you can hear the episode with Nile Rodgers, and he performs some of his greatest songs, like Good Times, with his disco band Chick, and talks about producing for David Bowie and Daft Punk, among others. He was the mind behind Get Lucky, which is one of the biggest hits of the summer in 2013. So, you get everything covered in this podcast. Like we say here, they say every song has a story, but we don't get to hear those stories so much anymore in the world without album liner notes. So I definitely feel that. You can subscribe now by searching for Broken Record in your favorite podcast app, and don't miss any of these engrossing conversations and performances with 3 new seasons coming up in 2019. That's Broken Record from Rick Rubin, Bruce Headlam, and Malcolm Gladwell.
Check it out, guys. All right, and we're back. Thank you for listening to those advertisements.
The best reads of all reads.
Yeah. So my next song would be Kansas, Dust in the Wind. Not a whole ton to say about this song other than the fact that it's incredible, and it's just a song about how fleeting life can feel sometimes. How time just moves on in the blink of an eye, and in the scope of all existence. And how small you can feel as just one person. It's just such a good song, really well written. I love the guitar parts in it. Kansas rules. Not a whole ton to say about it. I think we listened to this song 10 Tim had like an infatuation with the song in high school. So
I was just about to bring that up because, you know, it's funny because this is a sad song show and we've been pretty heavy, but I was going to, like, as soon as you were done talking about it, I was going to tell like a quick story of what I remember Tim playing that song with Dave in the back house the night that you never got your Wing It.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was really disappointed that night because I really wanted my fucking food that I ordered and they didn't bring my goddamn order.
Everyone got their order but you. Even Chris O'Brien, who was dead, you know, got his order.
I got no fucking food, man. I was real pissed about that.
Did you even get anything? Like, did you ever go out and eat anything or?
Wait, I think I might have eaten Chris's shit because he was passed out when it came. So I was like, fuck him, dude. I'm eating his food.
Yeah, man. Like, I just remembered the Dust in the Wind, though. Like, they played a couple songs we all sang, and like and then Dave started rapping to Dust in the Wind. It was kind of funny.
But yeah, anyway, Kansas Dust in the Wind. It's honestly a really sad song. It's really, really good, though. I mean, everybody's heard it. I mean, everybody's heard all these songs on my list, with the exception of that one Elliott Smith song, because I don't think it's one of his more popular ones.
Gotcha. Speck of dust in, like, Carl Sagan, man. Just basically just taking what Carl Sagan said about just like thinking about life in general and how in the grand scheme of things, we're just that dust. I like that. That's a good message. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to go with Let Her Go by Passenger. I love Passenger's voice. I think it's one of the most unique voices out there. People might know this song because it was a very popular song a couple years ago.
I do not know this song at all. I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm going to describe a commercial to you, and you're going to know exactly. I think you might. Let's see.
Okay.
It was a Budweiser commercial with a horse and horses in a barn and breaking out, and like the guy is like trying to get the horse back into the barn or something, and I think it's like two horses like trying to chase after each other, and it's like an acoustic piece, and it's got like this like kind of keyboard piano type thing, like, or a xylophone or something, I don't even know, but it was a Super Bowl commercial and this song was in it, and it was very popular at the time. Maybe you don't know.
Was it the one where like they find the dog or something with the puppy?
I wonder if it's the puppy. You know what? It was. Maybe it was the puppy and the horse. Wasn't it like the puppy and horse were like friends, and then like they found each other again?
And the puppy gets lost, and then the horse finds him again. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the song.
Dude, that commercial hit me right in the feels, man.
Oh man, that song though, like it helped too because the song was so like good, and that guy's voice is one of my favorite voices in music. He's an English dude, and like he kind of fits in the same realm as like Ed Sheeran in popularity, I would think, in England at least. I don't know about the whole world, definitely in England. And I like when they did like a cover of No Diggity together on a radio station, and it was just so fucking good. But this song's sad, and it just, when I first heard it, I was with my ex, and it reminded me of her. And it's a sad song, and I shouldn't have reminded me of her, but like the music reminded me of her, not the lyrics. The music did. It's just beyond words how I can explain that. But now, man, it's the weirdest thing. It described her to a T. The guitar, the whatever that, like, it was a piano, a xylophone. I don't know what it is, but it described her. And now the lyrics describe what happened. And it's just a sad song. Every time I hear it, I tear up. But it's good, and it's really like, and like I said, it was a very popular. So it was definitely in the top 50 hits that year that it came out. So, and that whole album that song came off of, which is called what's it called? All the Little Lights. It's a really good album. He's a great songwriter. His voice, like I said, is good. Definitely check him out. If you have Spotify, there's a whole bunch of like Spotify sessions and live stuff on here too, which is great. He's definitely worked with Spotify a lot according to this list, so definitely check him out.
Yeah. So that would lead into my next jam is I think this might be my favorite REM song. Everybody Hurts.
Yes.
It's actually an anti-suicide song, which people might not know, because it sounds so incredibly sad. But it's obviously Everybody Hurts, so its message is, everybody feels like shit sometimes. So don't feel alone about that. Everybody's got shit. I just, there's not really a whole ton to say. REM's dope. I used to, I've been into heavy music and stuff. I used to talk trash on them, but dude, REM is sick. They're so good. And this song is iconic. And yeah, apparently their drummer wrote this song. Shortly after that, he had left the band, apparently.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting. If you don't know this song, I'd be surprised if any of you don't know this song. But if you don't know this song, you've heard it in Mean Tweets on Jimmy Kimmel. They use this song when they're reading mean tweets, when the celebrities read mean tweets about themselves, which is kind of funny. But they use Everybody Hurts as like the background music, just like the guitar part, like the instrumental.
Yeah.
So if you haven't heard the song, that's probably where you definitely heard it. It's definitely a good song. And it's funny, like you said, you used to listen, like you listen to heavy music still, but back in the day you like would talk crap on them and you realize how good they are. It just happens when you get older. Like you realize the things that you might not have listened to like back then, like you start listening to now, and it kind of you relate to it, or like
you can appreciate it more. You're not stuck in that that mindset that you're always right. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Dashboard did a MTV2 Unplugged type thing once, and then they did another one, and it was like a crossover like type episode, and it was Dashboard and REM, and it was really good. They did Hands Down together, and pretty fucking cool.
Funny fact about this, I'm looking at this right now. It says this song topped a poll compiled by PRS for Music, which collects and pays royalties to musicians in the UK. Of the songs most likely to make a grown man cry. So this, apparently somebody compiled an official list of songs most likely to make a grown man cry, and this was on the top of it. Second was Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven, followed by somebody that's not on my list, who's Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah.
Yeah, I can see that one making people cry. It definitely has the feels to it.
I did not, however, get half of my list from this factoid. It's just a
coincidence.
It's just a coincidence.
I dig it though. I dig it. I mean, at least you shared at least two songs with someone. We didn't cross over. Like I said we would, so I'm happy about that. I'm glad it was diverse list this week where we didn't. Did we ever come? I don't think we've ever shared a song on the same. We might have shared an artist, but not the same song. We might have did it once.
I think we used to show each other our lists before episodes, just so we wouldn't ever think of the same thing. And then I kind of was like, hey, let's just not do that. And if it happens, it happens, It
makes it more interesting.
It's strengthen. It's like that would only really strengthen our opinion of why that song deserves to be on the playlist.
Exactly. I dig it. Do you have a bonus this week? I mean, I have one more song on my list, my fifth song, but I do have a bonus. If you have a bonus, I don't have to talk.
I'll have a bonus. I'll put my previously discussed bonus on there. Bonused.
With bonus, double bonus. But my last song on this list is Lucero's Nights Like These. This is actually the first song I listened to. Not the first, but one of the first songs I listened to after the breakup, and like I found by accident, and this is when I first knew, like when I found out that I was definitely going to go to that Frank Turner show. I knew they were playing, so it was like kind of listening to stuff, and I was just like, God damn, this song hits me. And it's just like, basically nights like these are, I can't sleep because of stuff like this, and and it's a good song. I like the dude's voice as well. It's gritty. The band is like, like rock and roll, like a little punk in there, but like a little country too, and that's different for me because I'm not a country fan at all.
Neither am I.
But like they kind of like, they're from Nashville, so they have that little country twang, but like they're more on the side of like rock and a little pinch of punk in there, like hillbilly rock, and they're really good. And this song's really awesome. And I love the line where he goes, "She had a thing for writers, but I wasn't really good with words anyway." And I just fucking love that. It's just good, and like it hits you right in the feels. And I think it's one of my favorite breakup sad songs, like for sure. It's definitely up there. So if you ever feel like you need songs to listen to after your breakup, Nights Like These by Lucero is definitely good. And it's off their album Tennessee, which is really good. It's a really good album too. And their most recent album, just to give a little plug because I have to talk about it real fast, is called Among the Ghosts. And there's a song on it called, let's see, why is that not in the top of their Spotify list? Because it's like their most Long Way Back Home, and they made a short film. The brother of the lead singer made this short film and had Michael Shannon in it, and a couple other, Scoot McNeary, and who's the other guy? He was in what is that movie called? Four Brothers. He played like the punky looking one. I forget the guy. Garrett Hudlin. Yeah, he's awesome in this little short film. It's based on the song, and people are like, I need to see more of this short film. Like, they need to make a feature with these characters. Michael Shannon's one of the greatest actors of our time, who's also a musician and loves music to death. Check out his Amoeba Records What's in My Bag episode. It's pretty dope. But yeah, that's my main list. You have your last song to talk about too as well.
Yeah, my last song is what inspired this entire idea for this episode. When you texted me, I was sitting at my desk at work, and you were like, hey, what should we do as a theme? Or should we do just a what are we listening to now episode? I was like, oh crap, what are we going to do? And like 5 seconds later, I just stopped and listened to the radio for a second, and Fleetwood Mac Landslide was playing.
Oh, the greatest.
Yep. And I was instantly like, oh, sad songs. So
I like it.
Yeah. Fleetwood Mac's Landslide is probably, I don't know if you could even say arguably, it's their biggest hit, I would think.
Yeah, yep.
Unless you could think of a song that would be bigger.
What's that? Go Your Own Way song? I forget what that song is actually called.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they have a lot of hits.
But I would say, or like Rhiannon's up there too. But I really, Landslide, I think is their, I mean, if you ask me, like, what's your favorite Fleetwood Mac song, I'd probably say Landslide. Because it's the one that off the top of my head. And I like that song. Shout out to Stevie Nicks going in the Hall of Fame twice. She just got inducted this time for her solo work. So, I mean, Stevie Nicks rules.
Yeah. And it was written about apparently her and the guitar player Lindsay from the band. Mm-hmm. It was just about them and their lives together. In the band, and that's just really cool. It's one of those songs that, like, even if you don't know what it's about, just the somberness of the music and the voice and the note choices and the melody just make you want to well up. You know what I mean? It's such a beautiful song.
It's I like some of the times that it's been used. It's gonna be funny too because it's like I'm talking about South Park, but there's an episode of South Park. It was the season finale of one of the seasons, and the whole episode was basically like talking about how Stan is discovering that everything around him is it's bullshit. Like everything's just shit, right? And his parents
remember that episode.
and his parents are divorcing, and they like split up, and like that song plays over the scenes. It's over the I guess the montage, and I was like, damn, this is deep for a South Park episode. This is like, holy hell, like this is a good song choice. I'm like, yeah, this works, and it definitely did. And power music can take something that's probably supposed to be funny and not supposed to have any seriousness to it, and makes it serious. And it definitely, it's one of my favorite episodes because of that reason.
Yeah, like the song's vibe definitely encapsulates how sadness feels.
Yeah.
You know, and fear and all that. It's just it's perfect. And there's a reason why it has been used so many times. But yeah, that's my list. I don't know if you have a bonus. I'll just say that my bonus was given to me by my wife. She assumed that I had heard this song because I told her, you know, what the new theme was for the week. And she was like, oh, are you going to put that Celine Dion song on here? And I was like, what Celine Dion song? You know what I mean?
My heart goes on.
I was like, no, it's exactly. I was like, oh, you mean like My Heart Will Go On or some shit? And she's like, and she couldn't think of it either. She was like, oh, the one where, you know, she has an argument with her boyfriend in the video, and then her boyfriend leaves and then gets into a car accident and dies. And I was like, babe, I don't listen to Celine Dion like that. I'm sorry. But the song is called It's All Coming Back to Me Now. And because my wife told me about it, I listened to it and I watched the video. Highly recommend watching the video when you listen to it. It definitely makes more of an impact. But yeah, that's my bonus for the week. Not really. It's an off the wall bonus for me.
Definitely is. But it's unique, man. It's good. My bonus is Sometime Around Midnight by the Airborne Toxic Event. I love these guys. Great band. I discovered them while I was on my first run living here in Philly at the end of 2011 into 2012, before I moved out to LA. And I heard it on Radio 104.5, and I just discovered like that iHeart Radio app. And this song is about a guy in a bar who sees his ex for the first time since their breakup, and he's kind of like drunk a little bit, and he sees her and she's with someone else, and like he's just going over like how it used to feel to be with her and stuff, and how it's like it's killing him inside slowly. And they like kind of talk a little bit, and then he like sees her leave with the guy, and it like destroys him. And like how everyone's looking at him because it's just they can see that he's not right. And it's an epic song, and it reminds me of something from the past. And when I heard it, I was just like captivated. And it starts off with this really like powerful like violin, and then it goes into like a guitar riff, and then it like starts off slow, and then it starts like, you know, steady beat, and it gets really heavy at the end. They're a really great band. I wanted to see them at the Walt Disney Music Hall, but I couldn't get tickets in LA, and that's like a really nice place to see a show at. And yeah, definitely check this song out. It's great. The music video is cool too.
But yeah, that would conclude today's episode of Songs for the Moment. Thanks for checking it out. It was a really fun list to compile, even though it was really heavy subject matter on my part. I apologize if I bummed you out.
It's all good, man. That's the power of music, man. There's always sad stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I guess so. That's why it was kind of an easy list for me, because there was a shit ton of sad songs in the world. Yeah,
man. And I'm proud of you for picking Celine Dion. I'm proud of you for listening to your wife about that one. It's that song, dude. I remember. It's like it's an epic song. It's like not all like the song is not like the feel of it's not sad. It's the lyrics and the video and like. But it's like I remember how the song ends. It's like really up and like, you know, she's like, yeah. It reminds me of a Meatloaf song for some reason. I don't know. Bad hell, baby. But yeah, that is it for us. And if you want to follow the show on social media, it's at Songs Podcast on everything: Instagram, Twitter. I was about to say MySpace, Facebook. I wish it was MySpace was still around. I missed those days. You can also follow me on Instagram if you want, at RealGrod, or Twitter at RealGrod. I talk about music, movies, horror movies. I'm about to drop some news on a short that I'm making in January. I'm excited about. Where can they find you, Shawn?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Shawn Songscast, SHAWN Songscast. I'm not on MySpace anymore because I'm not an antiquated fuck or, Zanga or LiveJournal or any of that shit.
Dude, you can follow me on Zanga at duhostfan20002666.org.
I'll give you my ICQ number.
Jesus. MSN, ICQ, AOL. Dude, I miss AOL. That's all
AIM was that shit.
It was. I always will be.
Crafting the most fire away messages since 1997.
Yes, sir. It had the best buddy profile of all time.
Yeah.
And if your icon wasn't cool either, then we didn't talk.
Yeah. But anyway, that concludes this episode of Songs Podcast. If you want merch, where can they go, Glenn?
They can go to merch.songspodcast.com, or if that doesn't suffice, you can go to represent.com/store/songspodcast. We have a new shirt up. It's a baseball type theme shirt. We're almost to spring training already. It's almost 2019, which is insane. But make sure also next week is our Christmas episode. Is it next week? No. Yeah. Next week will be our Christmas episode.
Next week is fucking Christmas, dude.
Yeah, man. It's going to be insane because it's almost 2019 and we're almost near the end. But the Christmas episode should be fun. And I'm excited about that. But for Shawn and I, that is it for us. Thank you for listening to Songs for the Moment, where every moment has a soundtrack. Peace out.
Peace out, guys. See ya.